No man in the world. No man in the world.
The measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls. The measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls.
We create
The smart, powerful, creative, accomplished young women.
We can fight.
I'm here because of you. I'm here because girls.
Clutch your pearls and hide your children. It's another episode of Surly Voices here on WMNF Tampa 88.5. I'm your host, Liz. My co-host, Amina, is sitting right across the board from me. How are you this morning, Amina?
I've been better. Good morning.
And Donna will be joining us in a few minutes by phone. And wow, what's new this week, Amina? Yeah.
You know what? I'm tired of new weeks. I want old, boring weeks.
Right. So for anybody out there who has not heard, the Supreme Court, Politico obtained a leaked draft opinion of the Supreme Court's majority opinion on the Dobbs case, which is from Mississippi. And it caused a bit of a clatter. So we are going today to take calls from women only. So women out there, anybody who's a woman or has a uterus is free to call in, and we'll talk about what you think about the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And we will talk about, and that includes people from all areas of the spectrum. If you're aghast by it, if you're dismayed by it, if you're happy about it, we want to hear what women have to say. Men, you may send emails and texts. If you want to email, it's dj@wmnf.org or text to 813-433-0885. Women and uterus havers, it's to call in, it's 813-239-9663. You do not have to give your real name. You can any topic at all that's related to the Supreme Court potentially overturning Roe v. Wade is on the table today. And let's issue the surly disclaimer really early up front. The opinions expressed by the hosts of Surly Voices belong to Surly Feminists for the Revolution and are not necessarily agreed with or supported by WMNF or anyone associated with WMNF. So they're Surly Feminists for the Revolution's opinions. So Surly Feminist Amina, tell me what your take is on this leak and its potential consequences for women in the United States.
So as far as the leak goes, I find it hard. Like now, the right is trying to make this about a leak. That seems to be more important of a story to them.
Well, of course.
So that bothers me a little bit, rubs me the wrong way. I think that the story here is that overturning Roe v. Wade is just the beginning. And if this domino falls, there's a bunch others that come after it. And in the same opinion that was written, it cites two other cases that were central to legalizing gay marriage. Mm-hmm. So if this stands, it opens the door to not just legalizing or making abortion illegal, but they're going to make gay marriage illegal. And it begs the question, how far will they go?
There's no bottom to it. I've been saying that forever. There's no bottom to it.
Right. It's very scary because for how long now? For decades, Democrats and generally the left have been fundraising about with the threat of Roe v. Wade being overturned, right? And this has been going on forever. And instead of codifying it into law, I don't know which president had the votes and the ability to do so. I'm hearing Obama because he had Chambers on his side, and he was holding the White House. There's people are saying like he could have done this, and by codifying it into law, it's to make sure that there's a bill now that would do that, and the House has passed it. The Senate didn't have the votes. They would need to end the filibuster to do that. So I don't know. I think that it's a very scary time. I think women should be very concerned. I think everyone else should be very concerned because if they think this is, I've heard a lot of people say like, but this is this is their opinion, it's their faith. And I'm like, yes, but one, we have separation of church and state. Two, it's not a moral, right now this is not about a morality. It's not, because this is a political tool.
Right.
To like I said, to make all the other dominoes fall.
Right. So we've got 3 women on the line. Let's talk to Leslie in Tampa. Hi, Leslie.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Yes, thank you. I just wanted to make the point, or something I haven't heard a lot of people say is that, like, I'm old enough to remember when abortion was illegal, and it doesn't, just making it illegal, passing laws, doesn't stop it from happening.
Exactly.
So I don't think anyone who's pro-choice is like pro-baby murder, but the thing is, as we know, women will take their lives into their own hands. They'll do whatever they have to do, and both baby, fetus, and mother will suffer more horrible consequences. So, and then again, there will be people getting safe access in other countries. The rich will be able to do this. And we've seen even people who come out and say that they are, not pro-choice, and then they themselves go pay for their mistresses to have abortions.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, thank you. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Thank you so much, Leslie, and thank you for calling. We and she brings up a good point. Just because you're going to give it back to the states, said totally outlaw it if they want to, that's not going to stop abortions. What it's going to stop is safe abortions. Not even to mention, it's not, and she's absolutely right. Another point: people with money are not going to suffer from the outlawing of abortion. It's going to be poor people, marginalized people. It's going to be poor white people, poor black women. And you know what? You have a much higher risk of dying in America being pregnant, especially if you're a black woman. And so they have turned back time, and it's not in the good way that Cher was singing about either. Let's talk to Michelle in Tampa. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, good morning. That is a good point. I'm 50 years old, and I remember back in the day when abortions were not that accessible, and there were all sorts of home remedies or things that a woman would either digest or medicines, overtake medicines. I mean, all sorts of things to try to have an abortion. So that being said, let's say you digest something and you don't have the abortion, but it affects the unborn baby to where now this baby is born with defects and stuff. It's ridiculous that people are so narrow-minded and they want to stop abortion. They don't want to provide safe abortion. And then, as we all know, people are going to do what they have to do because this is such a life-altering situation.
Right.
As far as, like, all the things that are happening right now, I feel like we're being drugged back, kicking and screaming to the 50s. And the progress that we've made with the gay community, LGBTQ marriages and everything else, like you guys are saying, that's going to that's going to be attacked next. I know it. I see it. It's already started. And as far as race, we still have so far to go with that. I don't understand how people think that society's supposed to progress and that we're supposed to honor our Constitution when they're literally trying to tear it down. Well, not literally, but legit trying to tear it down. So
I'd agree with literally. I'd go with literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's mind-blowing to me how many decades they're trying to push us back to in all these different subjects. And the Democrats need to stand up and fight tooth and nail, and I just don't see enough from them. I'm very disappointed in Democrats. I actually disassociated myself from the party because I've been a lifelong Democrat, and I'm just so tired of the passiveness. The Republicans are attacking on every front. They're aggressive. And the Democrats, in my opinion, are nowhere to be found.
I agree with that 100%, Michelle. It's like, we're bringing the knife to the gunfight, as they say.
Yeah.
We don't even have a knife, The Democrats are bringing rocks to a gunfight, pretty much.
Yeah, we need to dig in. And for me to join the Democratic Party again, I would have to see some real progress and some real fight. Stand up for your constituents and don't let this crap happen so easily. It's like the Republicans are just getting away with murder these days.
Literally, yes. Thank you so much for calling, Michelle.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye. Let's get to Wendy in Seminole. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, well, so many more questions after listening to the first couple of speakers that I too am old. I do remember when abortion was legalized. I also remember when we got the birth control pill. And I do believe that the birth control pill is also going to be on the block, among other things. You heard about the Georgia, parents can't treat their children if they're LGBT and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the pills, and that sort of thing are also going to go because obviously we want to go back to, Handmaid's Tale, as sad as that is. And I think that, do you remember when they approved the morning after pill?
It's been a while, but yes.
It's been a while. It was during the Clinton administration. And when they approved that pill, I cheered because I thought, God, thank goodness. Because somebody could, and just about as the far-right religious fanatics were going to go crazy over it. And I thought, oh, there it goes, another good thing. You know what Clinton did?
What?
He approved gays in the military. Well, they forgot all about the abortion pill, and there it is.
It's that distraction trick that Trump was so good at. Yeah,
it's crazy. I despise Mr. Trump, and however that is, but he is not where this started.
Right.
This started years and years and years ago, and culminated with Citizens United. It's just, and I don't understand why we aren't all really, really angry. And to the caller that said I don't support the Democrats anymore, I get that. Except for what are we going to do then? Are we going to become complacent and let the far right speakers jump out? Could we have a party called the Woman's Party?
I'm all for that. Yeah.
Could the women could do it? And I don't know. I'm depressed and upset that I appreciate you ladies for keeping out there and keep fighting because I'm too damn old to fight.
No, you're never too old to fight, Wendy. I promise you that. Yeah.
Talk up a storm.
Don't. As soon as we give up, that's what they want us to do. But I would be in favor of doing the feminist party because that way we could have women and men, and anybody who's a feminist could join, and the agenda would be clear.
I feel like maybe we might need a different label, but still keep it a feminist party.
Well,
that's true because that would bring wrath and ire from weirdo people.
Well, but you know what? I would rather raise ire and be up front and have all the cards on the table. And it's like, y'all made this a dirty word. We're taking it back. We're reclaiming this word. So
that's very nice. I just don't know what the solution is, and I'm afraid if we hem and haw and wring our hands for too long, it's going to be set law. And if I were a woman of childbearing age, I'd go stock up on morning after pill.
All right. Well, thanks so much for calling, Wendy.
You bet. You girls have a nice day.
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All right, so let's get to Jennifer in Spring Hill. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi. Well, one of the things I wanted to say is the fact that people are talking about how, oh my God, it's just so we got to go through this again and again, and I don't get what the shocker is, because I Dem-exited in 1972 when the Democrats didn't support their U.S. senators. Like before that, 68 was Eugene McCarthy, then George McGovern, and they wouldn't let Shirley Chisholm, even like none of the men, none of the people of color wanted Shirley Chisholm to be vice president or president. So, I mean, these things have gone that far back. And, the thing is when I Dem-exited, I went independent. Then I read the Green Party's platform, and they're the only party that doesn't take corporate money. They're the biggest party on the left. They're an international party. And for some reason, we can't seem to support them because, we got to support the Democrats, which I call the disappointing effect, because they don't do anything. Over and over, they just don't do enough. They get taken advantage of by none other than Donald Trump. And I know it's a lot of money. We need to get money out of elections, for one thing. But, I mean, it's like, why are we, trying to go with these guys that only go halfway?
Right.
There was, and we talked years ago about how, the Democrats need to get backbone. Yeah, they do. And why won't they? Because people do not back the progressive candidates. Even progressive Democrats can't win most of the time. We just see that in a couple of these primaries. So, I mean, it's like people got to stand up and say, hey, there's a party that has a platform that I agree with. And it is pro-women, pro-planet, anti-war. They're throwing $33 billion at some weapons because we have money in elections that buys these, these Lockheed Martin, so on. They buy their way in. And then, meanwhile, people aren't getting fed. Women are getting thrown to the side once again. It's like the Taliban. So anyway,
Yeah.
the people start getting some chutzpah and go for this.
Right. It's another form of extremism that is absolutely killing women now. And so we don't, and all these states that are making these egregious abortion laws, including Florida, it's all about fetus. What happened? Are you paying for prenatal care for these women to have children? Are you paying for birth control to make sure they don't get pregnant?
No, they're not.
No. It's,
I mean, I'm even, sometimes I'm even farther to the left, and the Greens haven't necessarily said, let's make sure that men after age 30 have to have a vasectomy. If we did that,
I'd start them all out with it. 15, you go and have a vasectomy, a reversible one. Yeah, we've talked about that on the show before, actually. And yeah.
So, I mean, these are the things you got to start thinking about. A little more radical, instead of being so timid with our vote. So, we have a Green running for governor in the state. So people probably go from wishy-washy, go for wishy-washy Chris. But
right.
I really should go for somebody different.
Well, thank you so much for calling, Jennifer.
Yeah. Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Now, Sharon in St. Petersburg. Hi, Sharon.
Hi. Listen, I just wanted to send a different message to you. When I was 16 years old, I had to give a baby up for adoption. And the trauma that has caused in my life is really difficult to explain. And I just want people to know that, when you have a baby and you give it up, it's really painful.
Painful, traumatic, and Sharon, my heart goes...
life-changing.
Yeah. My heart goes out to you, Sharon.
I was able to have another baby. I had a baby when I was 32.
Oh.
So when I, had my career going and everything was okay. But, it was very difficult. And I just think that, I just can't say if it would have been better to have an abortion or not.
Right, because...
I think it might have been because I didn't actually deliver.
Right.
Because, you would deliver. So anyway. just wanted to put that out there for you guys to think about.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon, for calling, and I really appreciate you, and my heart goes out to you. I cannot imagine what you've been through, and it's something that that nobody really talks about. So I'm very glad
Nobody does.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring it up. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So yeah, Sharon brings up an excellent point. It's, because Coney Barrett, and we'll talk about more about those kinds of things in a minute. That was her thing in the oral arguments was, well, there's safe places now to leave babies, all these things that we didn't have before. And, it's only a few more weeks after 15. And it's like, wait a minute, you want this woman to go all the way to 40 weeks, deliver this baby and just, cast it aside? That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And Sharon, of course, has reminded us that the devastation from giving up a baby for adoption is something that nobody talks about and nobody considers. And so it's, what if a woman or a child is raped and has no access to abortion and has to go all the way through, deliver this baby, give it? You're ruining that woman's life forever, or at least having a severe negative impact on it. So that's something that nobody ever talks about. But at the heart of it, it's not about the women. It's the only thing it is about women is controlling them. And I'm hoping Donna calls in a minute because I know she's got a whole different perspective on this that we haven't even touched yet, but it's definitely worth hashing out. You want to read some of these emails, Amina, and the guys are listening, and we appreciate you guys.
Yes, give me 2 seconds.
Okay, Amina's putting her glasses on. People who listen to our show know that one of the two of us doesn't have her glasses, and the other one's going to be called upon to read. So, and while you're getting your glasses, I'm gonna, Frank is on the other side of the glass, holding up his glasses and saying like, "Ha ha." I'll talk to Shar in Largo while we're waiting for Amina to get her glasses. Hi, Shar.
Hi, I just want to call because I'm so moved by that last caller.
I know, right?
That she shared her experience is so touching because actually all of these arguments that people put up about the actual biological procedures of what's going on, like you can do this, you can do that, that's all red herring.
Right.
In this argument. This decision is only capable of being made by the pregnant person.
Right.
Because no matter what the decision is, she has to deal with the weight of it. All of these other people passing the laws don't have to deal with the weight of this decision. And that's why it's privacy. And that's why it's our right protected under the Constitution.
Right. Exactly.
Simple put. I have known women who've gone through every experience, and none of them ever forget.
Right. It's
whether it be taking Plan B, whether it be, having something go wrong. Well, let's not even get into that, but that's the thing that kills me, that everybody forgets. What if something goes wrong? Is that life, that non-life, more important than my life?
Yes. Yes. According to the Republicans, yes. Yeah, that unborn, that tissue at 15 weeks that you have to carry until 40 weeks and you die in childbirth.
Decided to evacuate my body.
Yeah. Well, see, if you were a corpse, they couldn't take anything off of you. So a corpse will have more rights than women. So
exactly. That to me that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And stop with all the other stuff. And I just want to also put out, thank God at this point we are never going to go back to those days because we have Plan C and Plan B. And I advise every woman in this area to go out and get some Plan B, just to have it. Because you never know when you might need it.
Right. Thank you so much for calling, Shar.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a wonderful afternoon.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So Amina's screen is broken allegedly. So now I'm going to have to read these emails.
It's definitely allegedly broken.
Oh, here comes Frank. He's going to fix it for you. We're talking today about the leaked Supreme Court draft opinion on the Mississippi abortion law that is looks like we're going to be overturning Roe v. Wade here soon. And so we're inviting all women and uterus havers to give us a call. Men, today you're going to be on emails and texts alone. Give us your calls and your stories, your comments, your fears, your happiness about it if you're happy about it. 813-239-9663 is the phone number. You can email us at dj@wmnf.org, or you can text to 813-433-0885. So I will start haltingly reading these emails because I don't have my glasses. Bob in Melbourne says, if men were the ones having babies, you could probably be able to get an abortion from a vending machine. True. Yes. Like drive-through at McDonald's. Yeah. Then we have, let's see, Ted in Elfers. Hi, Ted. I'm fairly certain that the laws being passed by the GOP in Florida and elsewhere are in violation of the First Amendment by effectively establishing religion in government. Amen. And it's
Yeah, why does no one talk about that?
right. It's absolutely about establishing religion. It's horrible. But you got this Supreme Court up there, and what are they going to say? This Supreme Court.
Yeah, this Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So there are a couple women that I know, like 4 or 5 that are in my circle of friends.
Uh-huh.
And when you start talking about abortions, right, the unlikeliest people start admitting that they've gone through the experience or have had to make that decision. But the odd thing I realized is that almost every woman was like, I don't think about it anymore. It's not something that, that decision at the time weighed on them for whatever reason. I think mostly because of religious backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
But then after the fact, it's like, they said like they don't think about it anymore. No regrets. Like,
right.
Don't even give it a second thought. It's something that the procedure itself can be very non-invasive, and I found that very interesting because I didn't expect, I guess what I expected was people talking about, how difficult it is to make that decision and how much it, like, to this day they think about it. But it was like, no, I didn't even spare it another thought.
Right.
They went on with their lives kind of thing.
I think the biggest factor that makes a woman choose which way to go is how religious or how much pressure she's getting from religious folks in her family or friends. Here's Natalie in Clearwater. Hi, Natalie.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I have different perspectives.
Okay.
But, of course, pro-choice. I grew up in a very large family. And I know my mom did have 1 or 2 abortions, but still, we had over 9. I thought I was the youngest of 9. And unfortunately, I was often reminded how I never really should have been born.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong. My parents, my family loved me. They were overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because I was in that position, I was easily misguided, and I felt like I never should have been. So I was easily misled, and when I was 16, I was raped.
Oh, my gosh.
Fortunately, I was not pregnant. because at that time abortion was not legal. And I know I would not be here today if I was pregnant. However, I did have multiple abortions after, both by the same man, my husband. Financially, we couldn't. I mean, we together had 3 children, but there's no way we could have been able to afford to have as many children as I was pregnant.
Right.
I mean, that's valid.
Yeah.
What is really unfortunate is I remember the words of Ronald Reagan where he said, I believe that everybody who's against abortion has already been born. He has no idea.
Right. I mean, you've given us so much to unpack here, Natalie. And first of all, I'm so sorry about your upbringing. I mean, to be a child and feel like you're not wanted, yeah, that's gonna mess you up mentally, and yeah, make you pray for people, pray PREY, for people who are looking to take advantage of you. Mm-hmm. And it sounds kind of like that's what happened.
But also, you know what? I'm so glad you're sharing this story, because when people talk about abortions, they assume it's like women who got pregnant, sleeping around. They're getting abortions for all these very negatively framed reasons and circumstances. She made a decision with her,
with her husband.
After having children, and most women who have abortions already have a child.
Right. And you're having an abortion to make lives better for the child that you already have. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
I did go through therapy, and I do believe therapy was really an asset in my life because it helped me to enjoy the children that I had. And more important, the therapist, because there were times that I did feel guilty for some of the abortions. Uh-huh. And the therapist just said, an abortion is a renegotiation of a contract.
Ah. That's a great way to frame it.
Yeah, it is. And I ended up having a child after. A beautiful young man today.
Oh. Well, Natalie, we are so grateful for you sharing your story with us. So many different areas of the spectrum that we're hearing from. And I'm so glad that you did get counseling. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for listening to me.
Okay. Bye-bye. Wow. I mean, I'm sitting here crying half the time. This is...
I know. I'm so grateful for everyone who's calling in to share this, because people need to hear that you can't make one blanket decision for so many different circumstances.
Right. And for those of you who are just tuning in, Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5. Today we are talking about the leaked Supreme Court draft opinion on the Mississippi abortion law. Give us a call if you're a woman or a uterus haver at 813-239-9663. You can email us at dj@wmnf.org, or you can text to 813-433-0885. If you're a man, you can still text or email, but we're only speaking on the phone with women today. So let's, let me throw this little, match on the fire. There is, you may have heard of this guy, a U.S. representative. There is a U.S. representative from Florida. His name is Matt Gaetz. He is a Republican and an alleged pedophile. But he's still sitting there just, doing his thing. So what does he do? He tweets yesterday because there have been a number of protests throughout the country and locally here. So this is what he has to say in his tweet. How many of the women rallying against overturning Roe are overeducated, underloved millennials? Oh, he's attacking everybody here. Who sadly returned from protests to a lonely microwave dinner with their cats and no Bumble matches. Wow, misogyny much? Wow. No wonder he's a pedophile. He can't deal with grown women. So
Alleged
pedophile, yes. But dang, I mean, how do we in Florida put forward such an obviously misogynistic? This ain't no allegedly misogynistic either. This is straight up misogynistic. Okay, I'm calling it.
So much to unpack there.
Oh, wow. All right, let's talk to Shannon in Tampa. Hi, Shannon.
Yeah, hi. I had to weigh in on this. This is just such an awful thing that crazy Supreme Court's trying to do. They're inserting religion into politics, and that they're supposed to be illegal. And I want to know, why do women not have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness the same as men? Men cause 100% of all pregnancies, but they are not accountable for any of them. You can't even get them to pay child support. Oh man, I have experienced so much of this stuff. I myself had a second trimester abortion many years ago. I was a mother, and a fetal test, amniocentesis, came back with the problem, and the doctors all advised me it would be better to terminate. This was a severe problem, and so I did. And I did not ever regret it. It was very sad, but I did not regret it because I had to protect my family and my child. Since then, I had a second child, and I had a wonderful, happy family. Would the state have helped me with that child? Most likely they would not at all.
Right.
So abortion is very individual. Every case is totally different. The government has absolutely no business in it whatsoever, at all. So
right.
They just, the religious nuts just want more soldiers to fight their wars and more white babies to adopt. That's what it's all about.
Well, absolutely. And they also want more drones for the labor colony, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's not going to affect, like we were talking about before, people with money who can afford to travel out of state, they're not going to be affected by this because they're going to be able to go elsewhere and take care of business. It's poor women. Poor women of every color, but particularly poor black women who are going to be affected by this. And this is so wrong. And the fact that they have gotten this far is no surprise because gosh knows they have been at it forever. But it's still a horrible, horrible disappointment. So
I have a quick question for her. When you found out about the abnormality during your pregnancy, how far along were you?
About 19 and a half weeks, almost.
Wow.
Right, so that's past even in Florida, the legal...
Yeah, this was in Texas, of all places, and I had no problems.
She had no problem? Oh, I think she cut off.
Uh-oh. Did I do that or did Frank?
I think it might have been you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
But we did get the emails back up, so I can...
Oh, you can read emails now.
Yes, I can.
And Donna's here now. Hey, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hey, how are you? Sorry I'm late, guys.
Oh, no problem. We've been talking to a bunch of women and uterus havers this morning and hearing all kinds of horrible stories, and it's just waiting on you to come and bring a whole new perspective to this.
Well, I'm here to consult with my fellow women and uterus havers on Roe v. Wade, the potential for repeal, and why there's so many vote blue no matter who white women who believe that voting for moderate Democrats and bullying others to vote with them for Hillary Clinton, not waging a campaign to have RBG, rest in peace, Her Highness. I have a great deal of respect for RBG. Turn that seat over safely so that we would not be facing the public health catastrophe that we're facing currently. And I also want to say this because I created quite a firestorm in social media this week with my questioning of white femmes' motives. And I want to say that this is a serious thing. I'm not brushing it off. It's just really hard to care about the ravings of women who hide behind the patriarchy until it's convenient, and then step forward to say, oh no, our rights are at risk. They've been coming for our bodies. They've been coming for our rights. I'm a black woman in America. Since the inception of, we've been host bodies since we got here.
Right.
We used to be Christmas gifts. And so to put all these pictures, these tone-deaf memes about handmaidens as if that was something that was created for them, by them, knowing that we were their handmaidens, tone-deaf nonsense. And I see you.
Yeah, and Donna, absolutely. And there was one, I mean, we of course follow each other's Facebook posts and things like that. And yeah, and on our own Facebook page, Surly Feminists for the Revolution, we have a fair amount of what I call foul weather feminists. They come along when something like this happens. And so as soon as I heard about this this leak, the first thing I did was I went onto the page and I put an announcement, and it said, reminder, we have rules against saying vote and vote blue or anything like that, because I knew it was coming. It was a preemptive strike. Yeah.
Not the time. Read the room.
I knew it was coming because that's the first thing that a lot of white feminists do, and we should define the term white feminist because all the white ladies are now going to get all up in arms and start clutching pearls.
And you know what? One more thing. It's because these women who do this, and some of the women, air quote leaders in Tampa, were on that thread protesting too much, right?
Yeah.
And I will say it's the same people. They do and face the same thing. It's not some of my best friends are black. It's I have biracial relatives.
Right.
Okay. But the complaint, the whisper campaign against you, is that you are a low-key racist who refuses to examine your implicit biases, right? The way that we examine, as cishet people, we have to constantly examine our biases around people who are gender nonconforming and trans, right?
Right.
If we don't do that, our analysis of feminism, our intersectionality is incomplete. Now, we're not going to go over that today because we'll do it again at another time. But let's just suffice for today. Intersectionality is when your multiple identities, so me being black, me being female, me being a woman doesn't have Mackenzie Bezos' money, right? All of those things create intersection, right? And so my movement through the world becomes more complex, and I become more marginalized as those identities multiply. And so we have been trying to explain to white feminism that reproductive rights is one such lens from which to view femininity. But then there are also uterus havers that don't identify as women. That's another lens. There are also women who have a maternal mortality rate that is lower than some third world countries. That's black women in the United States. There's also the issue that 95,000 black women are missing, which is the population of Miami Beach. I do not see a single local white feminist up in arms about the population of a mid-sized town just being missing. And that data is for 2021. It's not for the last 10 years. I mean, and yet you only see stories about missing blonde white women.
Right.
Yes, they're usually blonde. right? Because how could someone not know that this is a public crisis? There's a blonde white woman missing, right?
Right.
And so because of this type of thing, because of this willful ignorance, when white feminists throw their arms in the air and go full SpongeBob screaming Patrick, I can't get it up for you guys.
I did not expect that. Sorry.
You can see the image, right? You can see it. Yes. Not today, y'all. Not today.
Yeah, and that's something that we need to talk about on another week when you have more time, is how the second wave failed in getting to intersectionality, and now why there's such resistance to it.
Can I say one thing that I forgot to say?
Yeah.
One time for the indigenous women missing and raped on reservations, no one talks about that.
Right. All right. So I'm gonna try to connect in Fran. If I lose you, please call back, Donna. But I don't think I pressed enough buttons. But we'll see. Hold on. All right, Fran in Largo, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I just wanted to say that years ago, excuse me, when I worked as a waitress, and I had a lot of other, friends that were waitresses, and some of my friends had to have abortions. I supported them 100%. I never had one, but excuse me, I stuck with birth control pills, which I think was the greatest thing that's ever come along. And as far as I'm concerned, they enhance the feeling of sex for you. You can enjoy it. And I think a lot of these men just don't like the fact that women can enjoy sex and have that freedom that they think is their birthright. Not all men, but I think a lot of these guys think that it's for them and them only. And also, I think these people on the right see everybody as a commodity. That's why they want women to keep having babies. And there's a way to get money out of them from cradle to grave.
Right.
And they don't really this phony baloney business about religion and the unborn and all of this stuff. It's just not true. Not true. And that's the points I wanted to make, really. And one more thing. Among the unborn, think back to unborn, at one time, Franklin Roosevelt was an unborn, Bernie Sanders was unborn, and so was...
So was who?
Done.
Well, we missed it. Sorry, Fran. We're having technical difficulties today.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, we got Donna back now. All right. We have Anonymous in St. Petersburg.
Yes.
Hi, Anonymous.
Hi. I just wanted to say, I heard the lady earlier that had said she had given a child up for adoption, and I also gave one up for adoption 56 years ago when I was young, and because back then having a baby out of wedlock was shameful. It also was a disgrace to the family back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about her every day of the year, 365 days of the year after that. I never forgot about her.
Wow.
I'm always wondering what she did, how she was.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, we lost another one.
Oh, no. There's something going on with the phones today because I'm not doing anything different than I usually do. So,
and this time I was actually on with her. I could hear her. I was on at the same time she was on. So I don't know what happened.
I apologize, Anonymous. I did not mean to knock you off, but yeah, I'm going to have to get with Frank after the show because I'm not doing anything different than I usually do. So something's amiss. But, oh, yeah, and she was rolling hard on her story. Please call back, Anonymous. I'm so sorry that you got disconnected. So yeah, Donna, when you come back, or next when we have more time, we'll explore the outrage and the how did I say it last night? Outrage, and it's like the sudden outpouring of rage, but it's like this has been coming all along. This is canaries in the coal mine kind of stuff. The poor canaries.
and you know what else? This morning I started out. There's this one white guy that won't just let it go. Like, he keeps coming, and he's like, Donna, I can't believe you. I can't believe that you're saying these things about white women. And I'm like, you know what? There are a lot of people. There are a lot of white women who are writers, right? Like, they know what this is. And they know that women of color have been in the trenches fighting for their lives.
Right.
Since
forever.
Inception. Right. Forever. And their literal lives, not just their bodies and the right to make decisions about their bodies, but to their actual lives. And some of the people who have challenged the lives of women of color have been white women, right? Or they've been white women who have stood silent while the patriarchy wielded its sword.
Mm-hmm.
And still today, these same white women hide behind white men. I mean, you cannot extricate the lives of white women from their fathers and brothers and partners and nephews and sons, right? You simply not. And so what they don't understand is that their proximity to the patriarchy makes them sometimes unwilling negotiators of the peace. Yes. Right? And they don't see the conflict of interest. And trying to get them to understand that is yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut myself off.
Yeah. Save that for next week because you can go off next week. But dang, it's like I'm reading Donna's thread and I'm like, who are you people and why are you so ignorant? It's like, wait, no. And so, of course, I start, swinging, and next thing you know, a full-on melee breaks out. So anyway.
A white Latina this morning, the first thing I saw when I opened my Facebook page was a white Latina saying vote, right? Her name is, unironically, her name is Karen. And then she posted this meme under his eye of the handmaidens, right? Mm-hmm. Staring heavenward. And JD says, Karen, do you realize Dems are in control of the House, Senate, and executive right now? Yeah. Vote for who? Please articulate how voting will solve any of this. Right.
And
it's still important.
Right. It's important, but yeah, we all voted last time, and all right. I'm going to try.
I make a living getting people to vote.
Yeah.
There's no, you won't get any talent from me that this is important.
All right. We got Anonymous back, so I'm gonna try to link her in. If I lose you again, I'm so sorry. I'm doing the best I can.
I want to hear the story.
Okay. All right. Here goes Anonymous. Hi, Anonymous. Thank God we did not lose Donna that time.
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
I don't know if I was on last time because I didn't have my radio on.
You were on, and unfortunately got disconnected when we switched when we merged the call with Donna. So I apologize for hanging up on you.
Oh, okay. Well, I was saying that Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett had said that. This choose adoption, and she doesn't realize that a mother never forgets that child. There's an emotional bond between that mother and child even when she gives it up for adoption. And I thought to myself, how dare her say something like that? Because she has no idea.
Right.
Are any of the people, even the legislatures up in Tallahassee, when they say that, so lightly. They have never been there.
Right.
they don't realize the mother never forgets. And I just want to say I was very, very fortunate, very blessed to be reunited with my daughter 3 years ago through the Ancestry.com DNA.
Uh-huh.
And I just feel, and it's just been such a wonderful thing that to be reunited with her after 50. At that time, it was 54 years, 3 years ago.
That's incredible.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you short, but we're out of time. We're going to do this again next week because we've had such a great response from the women and uterus havers. Join us on Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5 next week at 10 o'clock.